Hey, real estate besties. Today is Tuesday, and around here, that means that we are answering your burning questions. Now, I don't care if it's about a deal that you're working, just a question on how to organize something in your business, or if you just want to dish with your good real estate bestie, I am here to answer your questions. Now, if you have a question, head on over to rosemarylewis.com/ask, and you will be able to leave a voicemail and I will answer your question on the podcast. Let's get into our question for today.
Hi, good morning, Rosemary. This is Dawn in Atlanta. My question for you is, how do you advise clients who bring parents on the showings and really value their opinion, but their opinions seem to be a little outdated in that the last time they bought a house was about 25 years ago, home prices were much different, and every home you see is overpriced? Appreciate the advice. Thank you so much.
Hey, Don girl, thank you so much for your question, because I know that this is definitely something that a lot of us have dealt with before. And if you haven't, let me just tell you how it works, okay? Is that you will have a client, and I always ask, right, in these initial conversations, you can kind of pick out who, hey, my mom will be at the showings, or I have to run it by my uncle, and all these different things, right? And the first thing that I like to say is I completely come from the place of respecting where your client is as it respects to their familial situation. And I want to bring this up because some of us, like, I love my mama. Like, y'all know, I love my mama. Oh, I loved her. She went to be home with the Lord in December 2021, and I valued her tremendously. However, like, my mama found out I bought a house like at closing. I was just not, I don't think I've ever been that type of person that I needed, and I shouldn't even say needed permission, but that just wasn't the dynamic of our relationship, especially when I became an adult. It's just, I kind of did what made sense for me, and I didn't need input of a whole lot of people. And I want to bring that up because sometimes when you are that person, when you operate as I do, it will wear you all the way out when you have clients that rely heavily, or they just have overly involved family members that have influence over them. And sometimes, because even if you are genuine and even if you are the best fit for the client, if you don't have patience in this area, and keep in mind, they just met you. I don't care if you went to high school with them. Their mama been with them their whole life. They've been on their daddy. So there is where the trust is. So we have to find a way to still honor the relationship they have with their family member while still advocating, educating them on the current market, and just making sure that they make the best decision for them. Now, I will tell you that I have had some people who, uncle, cousins, and them got involved, and no matter what I did, they decided to lean to that person's expertise, and it didn't go well for them. They've come back and said, I should have listened to you. And sometimes, like, I'm not here to get into a debate about your Uncle Johnny who never ever bought a house but told you the market gonna crash. I'm not here to debate Johnny. I'm here to give you the facts. So wanted to put that out first, is that, we have to be respectful of where they are, even if that looks different. But now, how do you overcome those objections, especially when they want to show up to the showings and they want to pick houses apart and all of that? And again, that mindset of understanding that they are not there to, well, I'm going to say most people. Some people are there to just make it go kibosh. But most people are there to truly, truly be helpful, even if their help really isn't helping. And you understanding that, like, they're not there to just kill your deal, but they really think that they're doing what's in the best interest of their loved one. So the very first thing that I would say is find a way, if you can, to win trust with the parent, to win trust with the girlfriend, to win trust with the other person. If they seem amenable to it, I might refer. I'm thinking of one of my clients, Janine. Her mom came to every showing. I referred to her mama as mama. Okay, mama, what you think? And even though mama thought, like, I can't believe these houses cost this much, I would then bring it back to, yeah, aren't you happy that you purchased when you did? But listen, the beautiful thing about how houses have appreciated, right? I'm watching my words. I'm not saying, mama, my houses cost too much. The beautiful thing about how these homes have appreciated is that home you bought, in Plano, Texas back in 1980 is probably worth 20 times what you paid for it. I can only imagine how much equity you have, right? So just finding ways to connect and establish rapport with those parents, especially if you're going to be seeing them on showings and things like that, that is a number one game changer. The next thing that I'm going to encourage you is to stick to the facts and try to stay as emotionless as possible and just really explain to them what is happening, right? So when mama, grandma, or uncle, they want to come and bring up the fact that, the market is just going to crash, you share with them the facts on how this market is different from the previous market, right? When they say that, the client should just wait, or their nephew's son should just wait until interest rates go down, you share with them, okay, I just want to bring into your remembrance what happened when interest rates were low, right? It created a buying frenzy. And, as a result, buyers had to bid over, which was pretty much on par with what's happening now, except, the purchasing power in terms of negotiations were not as strong, right? So just continuing to find ways where you are not necessarily arguing, but you are presenting the facts on why, if this really does make sense for your buyer, why it does make sense. And then ultimately, y'all, there might have to be sometimes in conversations where you get with your buyer outside of the parents, right? So you're on your way home from the showings and you just, you give them a call after, they've gotten home, they're there by themselves. Okay, let me know when you have a moment. Like, hey, I know your mom and them were there. I know they had great opinions. I just love mama. She's so funny. But tell me, what did you really think about the house, right? What are your reservations? So really focusing your efforts, like establishing rapport with the family member, but really focusing your efforts on understanding what, number one, your client's pain is, right? Why do they even want to purchase in the first place? And bringing them back to that and bringing them back to what's going to make sense for them. But we definitely want to make sure that we are approaching it in a way where we are not being offensive or isolating or just kind of laying down and just taking what somebody says, meaning the parent or someone else, but that we're really making everyone feel involved in this decision. But above all, you are here to advocate and support your actual buyer. So I hope this was helpful. The biggest thing I'm going to say, y'all, though, is especially this is where in our business in general, sometimes if we are a certain way and are like, you sometimes just want to be like, dude, you don't need your daddy to help you with everything. But the reality is that his dad may have been a very integral part of his life and he values and he would not go against something his dad does not want him to do. And just the way we approach it could make or break the relationship building process. So we just really want to make sure that we are establishing that rapport, that we are honoring their relationship, but that we're also being honest about what their options are in market and what the cost is of waiting, right? What the cost is of waiting, and making sure that you're letting them know that you're not sharing with them like mom and dad are sharing their opinion. You are sharing facts about market. All right. Okay. Keep the questions coming, besties. If you too have a question like Don, hit us up, rosemarylewis.com/ask, and then we will talk to you next week.